Hey everybody, welcome back. I just took a hot shower and a thunder dump and I am feeling fantastic and ready to do a little bit more Let's Play Final Fantasy 1. This is Vivi's Magic Hat, and a couple things to report since last time I saw you. Number one, I have to admit to being an idiot. In the first video I said that if I was gonna do a Let's Play of a game that had multiple releases, especially if that game was on released on multiple platforms, I would try to pick the game that had the best graphics, but more importantly, the most content. And I actually missed out on both of those things by picking the Game Boy Advance release of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls. The PlayStation, or the PSP version, actually has both of those things that I said I was looking for. It says it has better graphics, and it also has an additional dungeon in the Labyrinth of Time that the Game Boy Advance version does not. The Game Boy Advance version that you're looking at does have some extra dungeons over the original NES release, but PSP has those dungeons plus some additional ones, so I had to sort of make a decision as to do I just scrap everything that I've done and start over with the PSP version. And I think that I'm just going to go ahead and finish this one. And then when I do Final Fantasy 2, instead of playing the Final Fantasy 2 that exists on Dawn of Souls, we'll go ahead and do Final Fantasy 2 for PSP. As I've read a little bit that that is also the Final Fantasy 2 for PSP is also better than the one for Game Boy Advance. So I apologize for that in advance. I make mistakes. I'll probably make many of them. Feel free to tell me how stupid I am in the comments. I appreciate it. Speaking of which, while you're doing that, please make sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. I have, like I said, 60 to 65 games to go. And that's much easier to do when you know you have an audience. My short-term goal right now is 100 subscribers. That's a very small number by YouTube standards, but when you hit 100, YouTube allows you to do a couple things as far as setting your channel up that you don't get to do until you hit 100, so please subscribe and tell your friends and have them subscribe as well. You may also notice that where we are right now at the beginning of this video is not the same place that I left you in the last video. That's because I made another stupid mistake. Back when I was at Matoya's cave, there were 3 treasure chests in there that I had just skipped over, so I can see the comments now. The treasure chests were right there, guys. Why didn't he pick up the 3 treasure chests that were sitting right there? So I don't want to make stupid mistakes back there, so I did go ahead and go back and get them. It was just 2 potions and an antidote. I didn't feel like you needed to see that because that's something that I already did that I just made a mistake and had to go backtrack. You'll also notice, you may notice I'm a little bit more leveled up than I was, and that's just a byproduct of the journey between Provoca and Matoya's cave and the monsters I had to fight on the way. This video, I'm just going to tell you in advance, is going to be nothing but a leveling up video. I had told you previously that there's a bit of a secret in this game. It's not so much a secret, but there's an area in this game known amongst nerds such as myself as I'm going to go ahead and run in here and rest at the end while I'm talking. Known as the Peninsula of Power, where there are some monsters that you have access to at this point in the game that you really shouldn't have access to, and they're much stronger than all of the other monsters that you'd be facing at this point in the game. And so they're going to give you much more experience and much more gil than any of the monsters that you should normally be facing. I'm going to use this video to show you where that place is, introduce you to some of those monsters, and sort of show you how the Peninsula of Power works. If you're only interested in seeing the plot developed, then go ahead and skip this video and hit up the next one. If you want to learn a little bit more about the Peninsula of Power, where it is, how it works, and a little bit of a lecture on leveling up, then you might stick around in this video. Otherwise, feel free to skip it. So here we are in Provoca. This is where we left in the last video. By the way, I should also say I have a slightly different setup now for my mic and computer, so if the sound quality of this one is a little bit different from the other videos, I apologize for that. I hope it's different in a better way, but if it's not, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll make any adjustments that you can. I don't have a fantastic mic. I have a decent mic. I'm using a Blue Snowball, which I think works pretty well. It's not top of the line, but you know, like I said, like, share, and subscribe, and once we can get these videos monetized, maybe I can get a little bit better equipment. Alright, I'm going to head out of Provoca. I'm going to pull up the world map, and you can see where my finger is, and the flashing yellow dot. If you look to the right of that, you'll see that there's a sort of peninsula that extends upward, and above that there's a peninsula that extends downward. It's in that upward peninsula at the very, very top where you're going to find the Peninsula of Power. So if you're playing this game yourself and you're looking for the Peninsula of Power, that is where you will locate it. Turn my mic here just a second, sorry if there's some extra noise. So I'm going to work my way over there. Probably going to be a considerable number. There you go, random encounters. That's okay. Maybe we'll get some new monsters to add to our bestiary while we're at it. So while we're on the path, since you probably don't want to watch me just randomly kill things, let's talk a little bit about leveling up. You could, in theory, go over to this Peninsula of Power and level up quite a bit. You could add 15-20 levels without much of a problem. I don't recommend that, and the reason that I don't recommend that is because in this game there is a series of quests that you can go to that allow you to change character classes. Essentially, you take on like what's an upgraded version of the class that you have. Let me, well, hold on, I want to check the map real quick. There are some very good reasons to go ahead and do that quest. In the original in the original NES release, it was actually a bad idea to do it if you were playing a monk, because monk turns into a master, and nothing positive happens for him, but he actually decreases the amount of magic defense that he gains for every level if you upgrade your character, which is bizarre. And luckily they have managed to fix that in the subsequent releases. It actually is in your advantage to go ahead and upgrade your class regardless of what your character is. Hold on, I hate being poisoned. It bothers me that I'm just losing HP just walking around. Anyway, the point is you want to use this Peninsula Power about at this time in the game, and maybe again later in the game, but you want to use it to get enough levels under you that you are sure that you're comfortable pretty easily moving ahead in the next few steps in the game, but you don't want to add too many levels, because you want to be able to reap all of the rewards of upgrading your class and then leveling up after that. Every level that you gain after you upgrade your class, you're going to reap more benefits. In theory, the earlier that you could do it, the better. And there are people that try to do it as early as possible. That's more of a challenge that I'm really willing to undertake, seeing as how I have 60 to 65 Final Fantasy games to go after Final Fantasy 1 is complete. I would rather go ahead and level up to somewhere between 15 and 20, and then move forward through the rest of the game, and then go ahead and try to upgrade my class as soon as possible. So we're almost there. Here's the peninsula. You gotta go and kill these ogres first is what you gotta do. Why the fuck are they purple? Is there anywhere in like mythology where ogres are purple, or are they just trying to show off like color from the Game Boy Advance? I don't know what's going on. Whatever. Yay! I wish they wouldn't jump up and down like that. It's kind of stupid. I want to make sure that I'm on the right track here. Yep. Okay, if you continue to go up... by the way, this is probably the only time where I recommend having tents, because you could go up into this little peninsula up here, do all of your fighting with these strong monsters, then just step down a couple blocks and rest in your tent, and then continue. Otherwise, if you need healing, you're going to have to go all the way back to Provoca. It's not that far, but if you're in bad enough shape, it may be far enough that you die in the process. You don't want to do that. Alright, so I want to explain exactly what's going on here. What basically happened, if you see, so you see where the finger's at, and you see where the white flashing dot is. If you see the peninsula that's above that, that's a section of the world map that you currently cannot access. It requires an airship to get up there, which we'll get later. What's happened is when the software designers created the grid where the monsters were going to be, there's four squares of grid up here in this peninsula where the monsters from the upper peninsula actually sneak over. So basically what you're doing is you have access to some monsters that you shouldn't have access until later in the game. So let's head up there and let's see what we got. It's these 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you just walk around the pattern of a 4, eventually you will run into something scary. So let's do that for a while. Oh, here we go. Ah, that's some big shit that we haven't seen yet. Let's see how strong they are and how quickly I can take them down. Hopefully, somewhat quickly. I think, generally speaking, if you're at least at level 10, yeah, these guys could kill me in two hits for sure. If you're at least at level 10, you shouldn't be completely outclassed. It might be wise to run if you encounter groups of 4 like this. They won't always be in groups of 4. You might find groups of 1 or 2 depending on what the monster is. And I probably should have done that. It's a little bit silly of me to fight these, and because see, now I'm dead. I'm about dead twice. So let's... See, that was dumb. It really should be too smart to not to try to heal somebody that's dead. But, whatever. Yeah, this is going to be tough. I don't think I'll make it out of this. That's so stupid. That makes me so mad. The game should be smarter than that. Yeah, so we're going to flee at this point. Or die. That's okay. No big deal to die. It's a little bit inconvenient. But well, we're gonna have to do it this way. I really haven't saved in the game yet, and that's kind of silly because it's really easy to do. Yeah, see? Yeah, that's a problem. Because now I'm too... yep. Well, friends. All the stuff that I said that I did between the last video and this video, I guess you're going to have to watch me do again. And I apologize for that. But, you know, I'm not smart. So, we're going to head back to Matoya's cave and pick up those chests that we lost. Because I got a little bit over my head with the bad guys there. You know what? And they don't always pop up in 4s like that. And what I should have just done is just tried to flee. I'm pretty sure the way it works is you can try to flee with each of your 4 characters has flee as an action option. only one of them has to succeed in order for your whole party to flee. So that's what I should have done, taking a little bit easy. I think I just kind of caught some shit luck there, and just caught a really hard group of bad guys. Alright, so we're headed back to Matoya's cave. I will say that the cool thing about this game is you can save at any time. This is an old game that I had, so I'll just save over that. And I should be doing that more often. But I guess I didn't expect to die. What am I doing? Alright. Alright, we're gonna have to go all the fucking way down here. All the way back to Matoya's cave. I would have just shit-canned this video. God damn it. There we go. See, it only takes one character to successfully be able to do it for the whole party to flee. So that's kind of nice. Anyway, I should just shit-can this whole video and start over, but whatever. Whatever. This is basically everything that I did while you guys were gone. That's okay. This makes this much more like a Let's Play than a walkthrough, because you're gonna see people make mistakes and stuff in a Let's Play, and that's what happened. Just so fucking many of these things. I don't know how. So if you happen to be a game programmer, I'd be interested to hear about how you decide what the random encounter rate is going to be. Like, what do you decide is hard enough to be challenging, but not so annoying that people lose interest in playing the game? Because, God, it seems super high here, and it seems high everywhere. It's not just like there are spots on the world map where you know, you're extra likely to run into monsters. It just seems like it's just crazy in this game. It's whatever. I mean, it gives you experience, so I can't complain. But anyway, this is what you missed from last time. Over here, there are 3 chests, 2 potions, and an antidote, which I'd already gotten earlier. But whatever, now you get to see me get it again. You know what I wish? You see how when you hold down the B button, he runs when you're on a map like that? I wish that he would do that when you're on the world map as well. Seems kind of silly not to. A lot of this game is I mean, I guess I complain about the random encounters, but the random encounters are really what this game is. There's plots and there's dungeons and stuff like that, but if you were to just play, god damn it, if you were just to play through the dungeon side of this, not counting the extra levels that exists in Dawn of Souls, and also, by the way, if you have a smartphone, the Final Fantasy 1 that comes, at least the one that comes on iOS, I haven't played the one on Android, but I assume it's the same, also has the extra levels. So that's actually the way that I played through Final Fantasy 1 after years and years and years of not playing it was on my phone. It's a little bit tedious, but it's actually it's done pretty well. I think the way that they do the motion pad is pretty decent. I mean, I only have an iPhone 5S, so my screen is pretty small by smartphone standards of today. right there, right? And it was still doable, and the graphics aren't bad. I mean, they're about like this, but they look better on the smaller screen because you don't have time. You don't have it to look at all the pixelation. What the fuck? It says I'm right fucking there. Where's it at? So give that a shot. It's not free. It does cost money, but it's relatively cheap. I don't remember how much it was. Actually, surprisingly, a lot of the Final Fantasy games are available on smartphone. More than I would have expected. Even like up to like Final Fantasy VII. I wouldn't have thought that a typical smartphone. I don't know how much memory Final Fantasy VII takes up, but it seems like, you know, a lot. But it's on there, and you can save a little bit of money if you want to buy them in bundles. So you can get, like, I don't know, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like that in a bundle. And it's like $60 for the 4, but that's cheaper than buying them individually. So there you go, Square. I am, or Square Enix. I am playing your game on the internet, and I'm also giving you a plug for your software. So be nice to me in terms of copyright claims, which I should not be subjected to, as I've already explained to you in the very first video. If you missed that, by the way, Square Enix has recently come out with a new licensing policy that allows you to not only do content like this, as long as there is basically consistent and instructional commentary. Which I don't know how instructional this shit is, but I'm trying, man. Do I need to heal yet? Yeah. But also allows you to monetize it as long as you're using the monetization platform that comes with whatever media that you're sharing your videos on. So if you're using YouTube and you use the YouTube monetizations platform, then no problems with that. There are some potential difficulties. I guess what Square Enix US and what Square Enix Japan are allowed to license are not exactly the same. I'm gonna get one more level because I started at level 12 when I got my ass ate last time. So you can just listen to me talk while I try to beat some asses here. Oh, sorry, yeah. So what Square Enix North America and what Square Enix Japan can license are different, and even if what Square Enix owns, the game and the footage within the game and the sprites and all that stuff, there's some music that apparently Square Enix has had to license from other people in a few of their games, and they can't license that material to you. But they're not specific about what music that is or what games those exist in, but I suspect it's not these old Final Fantasy games with the 8-bit music. It's going to be something newer with music that's not unique to the game. Don't make it too... How close am I? But anyway, if this is something that you are interested in doing on your own, you should not have any copyright issues as far as YouTube is concerned. Now, if you do, don't come yelling at me, but I've read the licensing agreement from Square, and you will probably find it in the down in the video description. And there are a couple things that you have to do as far as making sure that you include a statement that all of the material that exists here is copyrighted by Square Enix and so on and so forth. I'm gonna go back here in the water because you get a little bit more experience from these monsters. But anybody figure out what the fuck this thing is? It's a Hagen. It's a Hagen. I don't know. It looks like it has lower back problems. Like, I have lower back problems, and that's about my posture, which is part of the reason, by the way. have video footage, but you don't have any webcam of me because nobody wants to look at my ugly fucking face while I play Final Fantasy. Alright, now, you know, Einstein said that, that was my level 12, by the way. Oh, I got one more for herpes. Einstein said the definition of sanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, and I am going to get to level 12 and go back to the Peninsula of Power, which is where I was at when I just got my dick handed to me. But I'm going to try to be a little bit smarter about who I choose to fight. So if I end up in a big crowd of 4 monsters like that, I'm just going to use all my turns trying to flee. In fact, I may go ahead, because I got a lot of extra gil, because I've been doing a lot of, in grinding for XP, I've also been, I guess, gil farming. And, I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple tents. Just in case I end up in super trouble, I can park a tent up there in the peninsula and not have to try to get all the way back to Provoca. Oh, fuck. Someone die. God damn. Fucking herpes. There's always one. Alright, well, I guess we're done here. So now I gotta go to the church and get this guy. This is, you know, only had 2 characters I've had to revive, and it's been herpes both times. Again, I've asked this in another video, but I'll ask it here for those of you that didn't see it. If you, if you understand the math behind some of this, I don't understand how come I have 3 identical class characters in slot 1, 2, 3, and each of them has different stats. So I don't know why max HP for Enoch is 230 and max HP for Hermes is 138. All at level 12. I'm not sure how what the programming is in there. Anyway, so fuck it. I've brought herpes back from the dead. God damn it. So we're gonna rest. And actually, what I'll probably do, because we're real close to our 30 minutes on this video, I'll probably title this video something like Peninsula of Power Fail, and then we'll start again in the next video, and basically try to do in the next video what it was that I tried to do in this video. But it's a fucking save game, so I don't have to start over like that. So yeah, we're gonna go and end tonight, and then I'll be back up tomorrow with hopefully a successful Peninsula of Power video. So until then, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.